Is it the final day of the Flyers season? Probably. Maybe. Well, not necessarily. I'm Charlie O'Connor with PHLY Sports here for what could be the final Flyers post-practice notes of the 2023-2024 season. All eyes were on the scoreboards on Monday night. If you were in Flyers world, then let's just say the scores did not fall in the Flyers' favor. The Flyers were paying attention to three teams in particular: the Washington Capitals, the Detroit Red Wings, and the Pittsburgh Penguins, hoping for all three teams to lose. Instead, all three teams won. The Capitals won 2-0. The Penguins won 4-2, and in dramatic fashion, the Detroit Red Wings came back from a 4-1 deficit to win 5-4 in overtime. Had the Red Wings lost in regulation, they would have been out. Had the Penguins lost to regulation, they would have been out. And then, tonight's game against the Washington Capitals here at the Wells Fargo Center, Game 82, would have been a functional play-in game for that final spot in the Eastern Conference wildcard race. Instead, none of the teams are out. The Flyers can still pass the Washington Capitals with a regulation win. That's true. Tonight, they can knock out the Capitals with a win. So in that sense, their destiny is in their hands. However, they then have to hope for help from Detroit and from Pittsburgh. Essentially, Detroit has to lose in regulation. If they get even 1 point tonight against the Montreal Canadiens in a rematch of last night's dramatic game, the Flyers are out. And then, even if Detroit loses in regulation and the Flyers win in regulation tonight, the Flyers will have one more day because Pittsburgh doesn't finish their season until Wednesday. If Pittsburgh gets even a single point out of that game, even if everything today breaks the Flyers' way, the Flyers will also be out. So a lot needs to go the Flyers' way. It's not over. The season, at the very least, could last another day if the Flyers win and Detroit loses in regulation, but it's looking fairly bleak. They need a lot to break their way, but it all starts tonight playing the Capitals, because none of this matters if the Flyers don't win their final game and close out the season on a 3-game winning streak. It was an optional morning skate today, so we didn't get a chance to talk to all the players, but we did get a chance to speak with team leader Travis Sanheim, who noted that, he was paying close attention to the games and implied that it's a bummer that now they need a lot of things to break their way over the next 2 days in order to make the playoffs, but they're still excited about Game 82. He said the thing that a lot of players have said over these last couple of days, which is, if you could have told the players in this team, really anybody that follows the Flyers, back in September and October that Game 82 would still be meaningful to the Flyers, they all would have taken it. So it's not a play-in game, it's not a win and they're in, which is what they were hoping it was going to be, but it does still have meaning. The Flyers are still alive, they do still have hope, and as long as they have hope, the players are going to play hard. As for head coach John Tortorella, he confirmed he's fully aware of the situation. Because the Flyers now have to beat the Capitals in regulation, there's a decent chance that if the game is tied with a few minutes left in the third period, Torts might pull the goalie, because an overtime or shootout win does not help the Flyers. They need to win within 60 minutes, so we could see some interesting goalie pull shenanigans. Torts confirmed he's fully aware that he might have to go down that road, depending upon how the game plays out, depending upon maybe how the Detroit game is playing out. We'll see how that goes, but Tortorella, in the grand scheme of things today, when we were talking to him, he just seemed satisfied with his team. He noted that he's proud of his guys. He noted that he's excited about how they handled themselves throughout this whole process. Obviously, the 8-game losing streak was tough, and right now it looks like that will probably be what keeps the Flyers out of the playoffs. So they just squeezed out a couple wins against those bottom-feeder teams. It wouldn't be in this position, but John Tortorella loved the fight back over the past week, going into New York and taking down a Rangers team that locked down the President's Trophy last night, the best record in hockey. They went into their barn and beat them to halt an 8-game losing streak, and then they won a tough game on Saturday against the New Jersey Devils, a hard-fought, one-goal game all the way through. So he said he's proud of his guys, even though he noted, of course, they're going to have individual regrets about individual games. He doesn't think they should have any regrets about this season, about the way they played, and about the way they handle themselves. He also made it clear that not for a goddamn second did those guys quit. I know that was something that a lot of people theorized. We even talked about it on our show. I said I wanted to see them close out the season well to prove that they didn't quit. It's pretty much what they've done. We'll see if they can close it out tonight in Game 82, get the win, try to keep their hopes alive, and then hope that they get some help. I've been Charlie O'Connor with PHLY Sports. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.
city like the mayor.